Hello, everybody, and welcome to our second match of the day in the Lily Crow tournament. Today, we've got Omni versus YYN. I'm super excited for this matchup, and together commentating with me, I have Happy Person 05. How you doing?
Hello.
Yeah, she's doing great. So we got Ever Sleeping. It was Church banned from Omni and YYN picked Ever Sleeping, and we should be getting into the match shortly. It's gonna be YYN playing Hunter first. Do you know anything about this Hunter?
So on their profile, they're an S-Badge wax artist. I believe they probably chose Ever Sleeping since it's a very good wax map. So we
Yeah.
should be expecting a wax artist, though I'm
Mhm.
not sure.
No, that's a compelling theory. Wax definitely super good. Very viable round one. You don't see him that often because his name isn't Ivy or Opera, but he's still definitely like viable as a specialty hunter. And you really want to play what you're comfortable with. So I think on Ever Sleeping Wax definitely really good, but Omni are definitely gonna have a lot of experience against a hunter like Wax. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what they pick.
Yeah, I think the issue that why wax isn't really a first round pick is most likely because he's very counterable depending, especially first round. So I think if anything, they may just go for a tie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you have trouble with that first kite, Wax can pick up some really fast downs. If your support isn't on point, and at that point you want to be careful feeding presence so it's easier to push for a draw. Looking at these bands though, Seer Priestess, very standard from Wax Artist, and we're actually gonna see a coordinator locked in from Omni, which coordinator is really meta lately. China loves Cord. I think she gets like a lot of value early round, and you don't really care about losing her later on, so you see her often, and Acrobat as well.
Yeah, I would say coordinator all around is a very good pick, considering she can support other survivors super easily, and she can be a very good kiter herself. She's not really someone who really relies on other supports, so I think she's a really good tournament pick.
Yeah, I mean, she's just a pain, honestly. Her gun really buys a lot of distance off chair. And then if she's kiting, she can actually kite pretty well if she's got trait, and she usually does bring broken windows.
Hmm.
We're gonna see a lawyer ban next, actually. Lawyer kind of fell out of the meta recently. I think he was just not really strong enough, even with all his like fast vaults and fast run speed, but we're still gonna see a lawyer ban, so this hunter definitely respecting the lawyer here.
I think definitely because of Lawyer's numerous nerfs, he definitely fell off the meta. But I imagine that this Hunter Chopor TTV probably just wants to have an instant chase and not get rotated at all.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's still gonna be kind of tough with that acrobat.
Hmm.
Acrobat really rotates you hard, and then cord as well is gonna be annoying. We're gonna see the Merc lock from Cloud. Merc is very consistent rescue, and they do want to lock in a rescue here. Not going FO as well. Maybe they know it's a wax artist. FO really bad against wax, so they're gonna take the consistent Merc pick instead.
I feel like it might not actually be a wax artist considering they're banning Wildling instead of Mercenary. So I believe it might be an opera singer.
Yeah, Opera definitely wouldn't be too out of left field. Opera for sure, you see a lot of her. I think pretty much every hunter that plays in tournaments has an opera singer. I feel like this late after she's been added, everyone's kind of learning her. And she's still so strong. Even after her nerfs, we were seeing a lot of opera in the first matchup. So, and I'll bet Pit will play opera too round one. We are gonna have a barmaid pick as well here.
Mhm. Yeah, I think most teams tend to pick coordinator and barmaid together almost, since barmaid generally needs a lot of time to get up to her drinks. So what's more perfect than a coordinator?
Hmm. Yeah, if we see the cord and the barmaid kind of work together, that synergy can be really strong. You know, cord buys a lot of time for barmaid to get a heal off and then get her second drink as well. And in general, barmaid is just a really strong support. It's pretty difficult when all your injuries just get healed off instantly with the barmaid. She really is strong for securing draws. and healing up rescues and such. So now we're gonna have to see whether it's gonna be that Wax or the Opera potentially, maybe an Ivy. We'll have to see what this hunter goes.
Oh yeah, totally forgot about Ivy. Oh, nope, he's picking Wax.
Looks like it, yeah. It's good to play what you're comfortable with, and Wax definitely very strong on Eversleeping. So, and I don't
Mhm.
think Wax is too bad against this comp either. Depending on where you chase, I think Wax can definitely get a fast down here.
I imagine the Wax most likely has Warp to kind of counter the gun almost while still maintaining a very high level of chase.
Yeah, we see a lot of Warp Wax. At least when I watch Wax gameplay in rank, I think Warp's really popular because there are some strong loops. Like if you chase Corner House, you're gonna want Warp for that. He's gonna spawn to the left of Merc here though, and he might be forced to chase a Cord. He's actually really far from anyone he wants to chase. This spawn didn't really work out for him. We'll have to see who he goes for.
With this spawn, though, Graveyard gets locked, so that forces either Barmaid or Acrobat to probably transition. So I think they'll be delaying the decoding for a little bit with this spawn, though.
That's true, yeah. Also, important to note here, this barmaid this barmaid does not have borrow time. So we're gonna have a suicide build on the barmaid there. Might not be easy to chase here. In case Wax does want to chase it, probably gonna go for that Ford most likely.
I believe the Omni survivors anticipated a wax artist since all of them, majority the kiters, have broken windows. Okay,
Alright.
let's get into the match.
Yeah, we're getting into this match. This is gonna be the first half of round one. Omni versus YYN. Good luck to both sides.
Okay. Wax artist going straight to middle. He's looking towards the coordinator. We see everyone rotating. So Acrobat's rotating towards Corner House, Barmaid's rotating towards Geisha Dance. It seems like they're almost rotating into each other.
A little bit, yeah, and it looks like this Wax is actually considering chasing a Merc. We did see, I believe it was Acrobat head towards Corner House. But it doesn't look like Wax wants to actually go for that Acrobat. Instead, gets a hit on the Merc with 96 Wax. This Merc is actually potentially going to be going down soon here if he can't get enough distance with his elbow pads.
Yes, and now because he's actually staying on to the merc. But again, because of the spawns, we see Graveyard being locked, so Barmaid actually just started her cipher at Graveyard.
Yeah, and we do see the warp here as well. Although Merc does have two elbow pads, maybe a warp here to catch up. Yep, right after the elbow pad, and it's still on cooldown, but unfortunately not close enough. So Merc is going to be able to use his last elbow pad here to make it to this pallet.
Oh, I feel like he's.
Oh,
Oh wow,
wow, you missed it.
he should be dead now, unless the court can
Oh,
shoot. Oh wow, Wizard
Merc
Aqua
is
was
very patient.
patient.
Yeah,
That was
really
very good.
patient.
He might change to the cord now, actually.
If Cord wasn't patient enough there, she might have shot the wall here, and it actually looks like we're going to see a target switch here. Wax sees an opportunity to go for the cord with no item, and now this actually is going to work out. I don't think this cord is going to be able to last very long here.
Yeah, these pallets aren't very good. It seems that the Merc is going into the hill on the after ballot.
Yeah, looks like they're not going to go for the barmaid heal, having barmaid conserve her items, but now that Cord's getting shared relatively early, and healing Merc is going to slow down their Cypher Rush quite a bit, so I'd say this was a pretty successful early game for this Wax artist.
I believe the barmaid can get a clean rescue now. It seems he didn't see her going very early.
He's going to be able to injure her here.
Oh, and a
With
chair
the
hit.
chair, really
That's a
unfortunate
very
for
good
him.
rescue on the barmaid. but it seems like it's not enough for the coordinator to say, "Oh, a juke," but it still seems like she will die. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately not able to get away. And that was a no-tide rescue, unfortunately. So I'm gonna be able to get a redown really quickly. And we still see the ciphers are a little bit lacking. Just
It,
unfortunate with that share hit. Really would have been good to get rid of one of her drinks.
Also, because he didn't hit the barmaid, he doesn't have full presence. So I believe the rescue. It's fine if they don't rescue. Honestly, the barmaid cipher is getting harassed though. She's shielding the wax so that the cipher doesn't get waxed, which is quite
Mhm.
smart.
Yeah, I mean, Merc might want to rescue a Tide here, but like you said, no full presence, and also this core doesn't have an item. So even with support from the Acrobat, it's questionable how long she'll be able to kite. But does manage to survive that stun. Here comes the warp though. Unfortunately, overshoots the warp, and oh, but the pallet gets blocked. She might be going down here to hot wax.
Going down soon. Honestly, I
Yeah.
believe the acrobat, instead of maybe putting down the palette, he could have hit a ball onto the wax artist. Considering the wax artist wouldn't switch to the acrobat, but I think what happened was fine. The only issue is their ciphers are very slow. Merc
Yeah,
doesn't have any elbow pads either, and it seems like the down will be relatively fast as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, if Wax doesn't mess up his hot wax here, this is going to be an instant down, and that's really unfortunate. However, does get juked, so this is actually potentially going to be an extension here, but no, Merc immediately does go down anyway. And yeah, their
Yeah,
sessions are just really slow.
I believe he didn't really position himself super well. Especially another thing is since the Merc still has Tide, I think it's a really big issue that he's the one dying instead of let's say Acrobat or Barmaid.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's definitely a strong point here. Unfortunately, if they rescue without Tide, Wax can just farm the
Mhm.
Merc, and their ciphers are so slow that if he just farms Merc twice, he's gonna
Mhm.
have a guaranteed 3 kill, which isn't what Omni wanted here.
Oh, good
Really great
rescue.
rescue from Cloud.
Oh
There's the
no.
farm though, and no Tide. Yeah,
Mhm.
Merc is gonna waste a pallet as well. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if he got a lot of value out of that.
We see the Barmaid finishing Coordinator's old cipher. I believe they're going to sell the Merc. No, the Barmaid's going now, but it's a bit of a far chair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, Merc is getting shared on 2 ciphers, that middle one, and then the one that Acrobat just left, which means
Mhm.
that their cipher rush is going to be even more slowed down right now. And it's going to be difficult if they do rescue, because since no one has tied, Merc's not going to be able to rebound. He has no items. At least if they sell, maybe they can push for a 1 escape, but it does look like Barmaid is going to be coming in, but for the rescue, maybe.
I think she's just giving tinnitus, but yeah, I feel
Mhm.
like because he's died between two ciphers, I don't think it will be very impressive if they can get a 1 escape.
Yeah, I mean, Barmaid's or Acrobat's injured, and then Barmaid still does have a speed drink and some drinks, but against a full presence wax artist, it's really hard to kite for Barmaid. Unfortunately,
Oh,
she's
this is
gonna
a
get one point
long
here.
board.
Yeah.
I feel like Omni survive. Oh, he missed
Ooh.
the wax as well. But I feel like Omni survivors didn't really utilize a lot of maybe better kiting areas. I think maybe they could have tried to utilize graveyard or corner house even or fake gate because in those areas wax might have to wait and delay his wax shooting a little bit more. Instead, they kind of just stayed like the whole game kind of just centered around middle.
Hmm. Yeah, you have to give credit to the wax artist there. The main
Hmm.
reason for that was because he decided to chase Merc, who probably wasn't expecting to get chased. Merc didn't really
For
try to
sure.
rotate to a better area.
Hmm.
And then when he ended up getting chased, he just took hits really quickly, unfortunately, which is what led to
Yeah.
this entire snowball. So really well played by the wax artist, picking his
Mhm.
chases smartly.
Mhm. I believe if anything, if we're gonna go back to spawns and rotations, I think Merc could have just rotated towards fake gate since coordinator already rotated towards S corner. So then Acrobat and Barmaid wouldn't have had their ciphers interrupted at all.
Yeah, you're probably right. Unfortunately, they did kind of rotate into each other, and
Mm-hmm.
those rotations definitely didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also maybe their coordinator support may have been premature because it was super easy for the wax artist to just switch to the coordinator. And unfortunately, she wasn't able to kite very long without her gun.
Yeah, I would say again, maybe prioritizing rotating towards fake gate would have been a better move on all of the survivors' parts in that kind of scenario.
Ooh, unfortunate miss wax bomb there.
Oh, you don't get much distance with that elbow pad, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Barmaid's gonna go down, and it looks like Wax is immediately gonna warp towards middle. Unfortunately, not that close to the acrobat, but is gonna be able to find him eventually once he gets tinnitus.
Oh, he doesn't see the footprint. He keeps going. I think maybe from here we can tell that the acrobat is going towards corner house without need tinnitus.
Yeah, but now has completely lost tinnitus. And Wax is probably worried about Acrobat rotating over to heal Barmaid. She did use self heal, however, and Wax is gonna go right over to down her. But maybe this will allow them to get some cipher progress and maybe be able to finish a cipher and push for a one escape. It's gonna be difficult though. However, Barmaid might be able to buy some time here in this area. It's not the easiest area for a Wax artist to chase.
Yeah, the only issue though is Barmaid doesn't have borrowed time. So once she's dead, the wax artist can easily just go to the acrobat and commit.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Omni can't just pop this cipher now, and since Barmaid doesn't have borrowed time, or she doesn't even have self heal, so she can't pick herself up anymore. Right now, their only hope is for Acrobat to wait for Barmaid to bleed out and then go for dungeon. But unfortunately, Cloud is already being found here. It looks like Wax Artist has found him, and now there's almost no chance he'll be able to last until she bleeds out. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just a matter of time now until Cloud goes down. I'm doing a good job of dodging the wax, but that's gonna be it. It's going to be a four-man elimination for
Good job
YYN Hunter.
for TTV for YYN.
Yes. What?
What? Anyway, yeah, good job to YYN.
Mhm.
I would say that for Omni, I believe these are a new lineup of survivors. It was a very good attempt together. Or-
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. It's really hard potentially maybe if you're coming off of a long period of inactivity. It's been a while since IVT.
I don't
So,
think it's not an activity. I'm saying that it's a new lineup of survivors. I believe Wizard Aqua used to be on Sky for IVT. I'm not fully sure about the other survivors, but I do think this is a new lineup. So props to them for doing very well. I think they definitely have potential in the future for it together as a team.
yeah, definitely. I mean, they're really experienced hunter slash coach with Pitt, and they've got a lot of experience going to IVT. At least a bunch of these members do. So, once they sort out some of these issues potentially, but unfortunately, I think they were mostly just caught off guard by that wax artist. I don't think Merc was expecting to get chased, and then I don't think they were really expecting the wax to pressure them that hard. Really well played from the wax artist, though.
For sure. I was thinking for the coordinator, after she shot her gun, I believe maybe she could have. I don't know if there's a transitional pallet between 11 and fake gate. So if that pallet was put down, if she was able to vault it, I believe she could have forced a warp and then died near fake gate area to prevent dying on all of the ciphers.
Yeah, that would have helped a lot for sure. Unfortunately, she did die pretty close to the middle of the map, and that didn't really help them very much.
I definitely agree. Since both middle and graveyard were prevented from being decoded.
Hmm. Yeah, I think together with the fact that Acrobat had to heal Merc manually, their Cypher Rush was really slowed down since the beginning of the game. Like their rotations didn't go too well, and then they had too many injuries. And unfortunately, that allowed Wax Artist to snowball very well, especially since Wax Artist did such a good job of farming the coordinator off the chair. Did a really good job of prioritizing, eliminating his first survivor, and then pressuring the three remaining survivors. And unfortunately, they didn't have enough Cypher progress to fight back.
I agree.
Now we should be getting into the next match, and we do see the Wax Artist player, Chopur TTV, is playing Survivor, the legendary dual faction player here we have. So it's going to be really exciting to see how they do with Survivor as well, after the 4-kill on Omni.
Actually, Choport TTV's record is open, and I can see that they play a lot of Prospector, so I'm kind of excited for some Prospector gameplay.
Ooh, Prospector is risky round one because he's very difficult against Opera. It's super easy to accidentally cancel recovery against an opera singer, so we
Yeah,
might not see the yeah, but we'll have to see. Maybe they go for it anyway. If you play very well, it can still be effective against Opera.
I imagine it's probably a similar team comp to the first round. Pit Stoppers does the same exact band as Choport TV did, so
Yeah, I think Priestess and Seer is pretty necessary to ban. Usually we always see Priestess and Seer banned in NAU. So, it'll be interesting to see what they go, though. We saw Omni went, what, Cord Acrobat? So, some decent kiters. Maybe we'll see some strong kiters here. Maybe we'll see some good support. We know there are definitely a bunch of support characters that can succeed on Eversleeping as well. I'd like to see some Toy Merchant, to be honest. I think Toy Merchant is quite good on this map.
I think they might just go full Opera Ivy counter comp.
Yeah,
The
that's
only
true.
issue with Toy Merchant is the fact that when Ivy is leached onto her, she can actually scare even mid-air almost, and prevent the Toy Merchant from gliding. So I don't think we will have a Toy Merchant anytime soon, and I believe Pet does play Ivy. I think if anything, though, considering the Antiquarian ban, he will be playing Opera Singer.
Yeah, we are seeing some really.
Um, yeah, I think right now the way YYN is choosing their characters is very Opera and Ivy friendly almost. So no matter if it's Opera or if it's Ivy, they should be able to yield. Oh, we do see a prospector pick. I
Really
believe.
sorry about that interruption.
No worries. Oh, no prospector. But yeah, this comp is mostly Opera heavy now. Perfumer is not super good against Ivy. Honestly, she's not really that good at all against Ivy, so I imagine that they expect Pit to play only Opera Singer.
Yeah, definitely. We got, Puppeteer and Dancer. Dancer, unfortunately, Opera still moves very fast, even with the slow boxes. So Dancer kind of out of favor round one, but still can definitely be very difficult if you set up a bunch of slow boxes in middle. With multiple slow boxes, it's actually really difficult, really even for Ivy or even for Opera to move around quickly. And they also
I
have that Puppeteer and the Merc, so a lot of consistent rescue options here.
I believe that with the Opera nerf, the recent Opera nerf, her Shadow Dance teleportation is slower. So with the slow box, I think the dancer can easily vault in front of the Opera Singer without too much worry now. If she were
Mhm.
to Shadow Dance teleport.
Did they nerfed her jump?
I don't know if it was the most recent one, but I know they nerfed it like maybe 2 patches ago. I'm not quite sure, but I know her jump did get nerfed.
Yeah, that what the most recent one was her full presence nerf. but it
Yes.
doesn't look like we're gonna have to worry
Oh,
about that. Yeah,
we're
it's gonna
seeing
be
Dream
Dreamwitch.
Wish.
Dreamwitch actually really strong against this comp. Very good against Perfumer and Dancer, probably. No Dreamwitch counters here, no Barmaid or Psychologist, so I guess Pitt saw a chance and he took it here.
I think the only issue I can really see endgame is if the game maybe becomes more convoluted towards the end, the healing with the puppeteer may be a little more difficult. But we
Mhm.
see Perfumer with a flywheel, so if it's patroller, I believe like she should be able to last at least one patroller.
Yeah, definitely. It's really important to use your flywheel effectively with the patroller. And if she can dodge that first patroller from the main body, she
Mhm.
can probably kite a decent amount, especially since she has corner house potentially. If she rotates to corner house, she can use those perfumes when she's like dropping down, even after she gets injured. So Pitt, might have a hard time with the perfumer at corner house, but it's also a Dream Witch who can sandwich really quickly. So it's always difficult for a perfumer to cut a Dream Witch.
Mhm. I am a little surprised by the builds of the players, considering Dancer and Perfumer both have flywheel. I imagine that maybe they didn't actually expect an opera singer and instead a dream witch, considering they have these kind of builds.
hmm Yeah, the flywheels are really interesting here. I'm not sure if Pitt's been playing Dream Witch recently. As far as I know, he was playing Opera at IBT, but I'm not sure. But regardless of why they went for the flywheels, it's definitely working out here. They're gonna have a really good time kiting those patrollers, as long as it's not puppeteer. But I don't think Pitt wants to chase a puppeteer.
For sure. Actually, I think maybe the dream witch could have blink, but I'm not. We'll see soon. She has
Oh,
blink, so
wow.
yeah. I was thinking, considering there's a perfumer, usually dream witches would bring blink, especially or even with a dancer.
hmm
Hmm.
That's true, yeah. Although Blink Dream Witch definitely not very common just because there's so little room for error and it's very heavy on sandwiches. Of a really nice job with the sandwich there, forcing the pallet stun, and her path was blocked, so really well played there from Pitt.
Yeah, I think the non-leech bit may hurt her later on. Hopefully, she's able to get the spawn blink out. If not, it may pose a threat later on in the match.
Yeah,
Mhm.
most likely will be forced to use a spawn blink. Unfortunately, actually, this is going to be a little difficult here.
Oh,
Puppeteer is also going to be able to
interesting.
cap the pallets, so she might be able to rotate here.
Hmm.
A really nice rotation, and I'm not sure if Pitt has a sandwich set up with the leech,
I
so
believe
Dancer's going to be
not.
able to
If
rotate.
anything, female dancers leech should be following soon enough. Oh, got
Yeah, why
baited with
did she
a
go for the
flywheel.
pallets, though?
I believe she probably
Huh.
was just focused too much on looking behind her, but yeah,
Yeah,
no
I think
blink, unfortunately.
if she tried to loop around these pallets, she might have had more luck, and she might have been able to force out a blink. But
Hmm.
her route, she just kind of kited into the open, and she didn't make the pallet, which is
Yeah,
really
that's
unfortunate.
unfortunate.
And the blink onto the Merc. Oh, this is a lot of
Yeah.
momentum for Pitt. Wow.
I think the main thing with Dreamwitch is not dying towards middle and oh wow, really good rescue and really good body block on the puppeteer's part.
Yeah, but unfortunately, this leech does have blink up, so Dancer, without flywheel or anything, is not going to be able to survive very long here.
Hmm.
There should be potentially a blink right here.
Hmm. She did delay the blink though, I must give her that. She used two spins, which was quite good to kind of die almost farther away from the ciphers.
Yeah, definitely a really good job of delaying it, but unfortunately, their Cypher Rush is really slow. Puppeteer is at 3 chips right now, so has no
Hmm.
more ability uses left effectively.
Hmm.
And they had to spend a lot of time healing Merc as well, so I mean, maybe
Hmm.
Merc will go for a rescue here, but this is a pretty difficult position, especially because Puppeteer just goes down in middle.
Merc has to go for the rescue now once
This
Puppeteer
is
went
gonna be
down.
difficult. This could be a Terror Shock.
Oh wow, that's a very good rescue on Showport TTV's part.
Yeah, really well played. And Pitt is going to be chairing Puppeteer while he redowns this dancer. Um,
Yeah,
I
I think.
think
Mhm.
I think
Oh,
one of these leeches has blink. I'm not sure. He'll probably be able to sandwich her. So
I believe the Puppeteer's leech should have blink soon enough, considering he got leeched a bit ago, and the leech cooldown has 60-second blink.
mhm. Yeah,
Hmm.
really well played there, setting up the blink with the Puppeteer, and also going back for the camp too. So Pitt's doing a great job of multitasking right now, and is gonna get that ability out of the Puppeteer. So now he does die in one hit now. Really well
Yeah,
played from Pitt here.
totally agree. I believe that the Puppeteer maybe shouldn't have been pushing middle, especially since they were only at what 3 ciphers or something. So I think if anything, he could have gone towards graveyard and prevented getting downed. But I think their ciphers are decent enough. The only issue is Puppeteer can't get healed immediately right now, and he's just gone down to his leech.
And they really needed a kite out of Puppeteer there, unfortunately. Now that Pitt has another chair, he's gonna force a rescue out of Perfumer. And if Perfumer gets injured, everyone's gonna be injured, and there's completely missing a fifth cipher. So right now, this is a pretty dangerous position. Their Perfumer needs to make a perfect rescue here, pretty much, for them to have a chance at drawing this match.
Yeah, it seems that the perfumer and Merc both started different ciphers. So S Corner got started, and the cipher outside of middle two story got started. So I believe they could have maybe consolidated their ciphers a little bit better. Good
Yeah,
rest.
potentially. Oh, but she
YYN
doesn't get the perfume in
maybe
time. The perfumer is
missed
going
it.
to be injured here. And she gets baited at the pallet. So
Yeah.
now everyone is injured right now. And Pitt probably just re-chairs this perfumer now. Blinks as well on the Merc, and he gets hit.
Oh no.
A double
Hmm.
down.
It seems that this situation is now a 4K almost, unless YYN can pull something out. But it's a very tough situation to be in.
Yeah, I mean, Puppeteer can make a rescue here, unfortunately. Maybe, but Merc is just going to get shared here. And unfortunately, they really
Oh,
don't.
they oh, Blink is fixed
Yeah,
too difficult. Honestly, I'm not sure of Pitstopper's build, but there is no insolence, nor I don't think there is trump card. I think he just has detention, and then probably max berserker and hunt, and maybe even pallet break. But it seems like a pretty aggressive Dream Witch build.
yeah, I didn't see. I'm not sure if he has fast pallets on this build.
Oh wait, no, he
Um,
did switch to trump card. He has
oh, he
patroller
did,
now.
yeah. Okay, yeah, switching to patroller is really strong in late game because that first patroller is gonna get all four bites. So this is going to be a down here. And
Hmm.
yeah, that's a pretty dominant 4 kill from Pitt. Really well played from him.
Great job on both teams' parts. I believe the Hunties just outperformed themselves. It's a tie for the first round.
Yeah, it definitely standout performance from that wax artist. You know, Omni are the big name team with really well renowned survivors, so definitely a little bit unexpected to see the wax artist perform that well against them. It was very impressive. However, on the other hand, you know, with Pitt's Hunter match, Pitt's well known for being really good at Hunter, and we saw some of that. His Dream Witch, even if he isn't known for playing Dream Witch as much lately in this meta, still a very well refined Dream Witch. His sandwiches were on point.
I agree. Where
Yeah,
did the dancer spawn in that match again? She spawned middle two story?
I think so. I'm not sure I remember.
Yeah, I think against a Dream Witch, maybe going or rotating towards corner house may be a little bit better considering it's a very isolated area. So then there's no ciphers being harassed. But other than that, I think she did what she could do. But I think not getting the spawn blink out was kind of major for the game.
Yeah, I mean, Dancer was kind of in a rough spot from the start of the match. I think she set up a box at those two pallets.
Mhm,
But she was forced to rotate into the 11 area and
mhm,
immediately took a hit
mhm,
because of the really well placed leech from Pitt. Yeah,
mhm,
I think if she had managed to get that blink out, unfortunately, she kind of took a weird rotation. But if she got the blink out at those three pallets, then maybe it would have been harder for Pitt to re-down her. But
mhm, I agree.
if you can't expect a rebound against a Dream Witch, it's going to be really difficult for the survivors.
Mhm. You know, I when I saw that Pit Stoppers had Blink, I was expecting insolence build, since I know that most Dream Witches who bring Blink tend to bring insolence to kind of supplement for that extra leech on the map almost to put additional pressure. But he didn't even need to have insolence, which I find quite impressive.
Yeah, definitely. The trump card Blink Dream Witch is definitely like the older way of playing it, maybe. Like you do see Insolence and Blink lately.
Mhm,
But yeah, with the trump card, it does allow that patrol switch in the end game, like we saw. And I mean, maybe you want to switch to teleport in some situations, but if you're in a really good spot and you just need to secure it down, switching to patroller pretty much guarantees that.
mhm,
Especially since the first patroller is going to be very strong. So,
mhm, completely
well,
agree.
now have we seen what the maps like the map picks and bans are?
I can check.
It looks like YYN banned Hospital and Omni picked Chinatown, and we're waiting on faction right now.
Oh, wow. I believe Omni with the Chinatown pick is most likely trying to go for a very strong center-sided map. So they're probably relying on pit stoppers to get another 4K.
Yeah. Chinatown, important to note, is very strong for Wax Artist. So
Mhm,
Omni are probably going to be forced to ban Wax here, which means they might be running into like a round two Opera or Ivy, which is a little bit difficult.
mhm.
However, the upside is it also benefits Pit a lot. So pretty much all of Pit's hunters are going to be very strong here. Pit can probably play Opera here or Ivy, um, whichever
Mhm.
one. It'll be interesting actually to see if YYN decide to ban the Dream Witch after that match.
I don't think Dreamwatch would be a very wise pick just because Chinatown is a little bit of a larger side, like larger map. So it might be more difficult to utilize Dreamwitch on that map. I think instead they should maybe prioritize banning maybe Wax or Opera.
hmm Yeah, I
Mhm,
think Wax is or not Wax, Opera is the safe ban here.
mhm,
Opera is still very, very strong. So I
mhm,
think we might see an Opera ban. I believe
mhm,
it does play Wax Artist, and Wax is really good on this map. So Wax could still be really strong.
mhm. I do think though with YYN's ban on Sacred Heart Hospital, I think they definitely also want their hunter to have a stronger chance of a 4K as well. So right now, I believe like both teams are kind of relying on their hunters almost.
Yeah, definitely something you see a lot in NAU. It's usually very, very hunter-driven teams. I mean, with Omni, definitely Pitt is known as a very strong hunter, and he's always reliable, even if the survivors are struggling. So, we can definitely expect to see some good performance from Pitt. However, it is going to be Priestess and Seer ban here, so more of the same with the bans.
On the global ban, I believe they had Puppeteer and Dancer.
Wasn't it Merc and Puppeteer?
Oh, was American Puppeteer? That's interesting to have Merc as a global ban.
It might have been Dancer, I'm not sure. Oh, nope, looks
No,
like
I think
that was
Merc and
Patrol.
Puppeteer were the global bans, yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. You usually do not see Merc get picked first.
Mhm.
Very, very interesting there. But I mean, they do still have options for rescues.
Wow,
Most likely
they
going to be
banned
Echo here.
Pitstopper's
Hermit.
Hermit. That is
Whoa.
surprising. I didn't even know Pit played Hermit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he does. That's very surprising. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought Pitstoppers played Wax, Dreamwitch, Opera, and Learning Ivy maybe, but Hermit is a very unexpected ban for me as well. Oh, but YYN, it seems that with the Embalmer pick, they're trying to aim for at least a one-person escape. Embalmer is pretty good, especially on this map for that kind of escape.
Yeah, and Balmer is really strong here. I think if YYN are relying on their hunter here, I think their goal mostly is to just get a draw. And Balmer is very strong for that. And they also have Journalist, who's a very consistent rescue. It's impossible pretty much to stuff a journalist. So really consistent character for rescues. Although she can be inconsistent when it comes to chasing. If you're able to dodge the body block and hit her through her recording, you can outplay her and you can down her really quickly.
You
We
know,
also see an anti-ban.
I've been seeing some journalists in China tournaments bringing broken windows in borrowed time and some Tide actually, since she is a very strong kiter without Tide. Oh, Thief got banned. That's a very interesting ban. I wonder what the Hunter pet is going to play.
That screams Clerk, although I'm not sure if Pitt would play Clerk here. And Clerk is really good
I think,
at getting 4 kills, but
yeah,
Pitt
I
does
believe
play Clerk.
Clerk might be the utilization, considering these survivors seem to kind of almost get countered by Clerk.
Yeah, the only issue is Prospector with that last pick. Prospector definitely really strong against Clerk. But the good news here is they don't have any distance here. No Acrobat, no Patient, no Toy Merchant, no Fireman. I think people like him on this map. So they don't
Yeah.
really have any characters that generate a lot of distance. So Clerk actually can succeed here against this comp. Maybe. Could also just be an Opera.
Mhm. Yeah, I think with the Prospector pick, we are going to expect maybe some, hopefully, like mid-kite support from him, if he's not the one kiting, that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it is a clerk, you probably want to chase Prospector here. Just because you get rid of their harassment. You know, if you have to deal with Prospector supporting during a kite, it's gonna be difficult. So getting rid of Prospector first is the easiest. Yeah, I don't know if Opera would ban Thief. I don't think Ivy
I
would
really
either.
don't think Opera or Ivy would ever utilize a thief ban, but for the most part, Pitstopper's bans are paralleling the Ever Sleeping map up until the Antiquarian ban.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
I kind of
Um,
view Chinatown as like a worse version and larger version of Ever Sleeping since all the buildings. Oh, we see Pitstoppers pick Opera. I still wonder why Thief was banned. I wonder if YYN has a Thief main on their team, so maybe it could be a target ban since it's a kind of a peculiar ban.
yeah, I think with how obscure of a ban it is, that's probably the case. So
Mhm.
maybe Pitt did some research before this match. Definitely really weird because usually Opera can dash too fast for Thief to actually stun her in time. But on more open areas where she doesn't have as many shadows, Thief can definitely be kind of difficult to deal with.
You know,
Um,
if anything, the reason why Thief may be sometimes a difficult chase is when he drops the flashlight, it almost forces the hunter to get stunned after breaking a pallet or vaulting a window.
mhm. They are going to be taking the L spawn here, and Pitt's going to spawn to the left of the psychologist here, who has broken windows. I think these builds are all pretty standard, and we do have Tide on the journalist, so it's not going to be a kiting build journalist like you were speculating. But
Mhm.
they do need a Tide, and I think journalist is the best option here. So
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised almost that there's not maybe another Tide, considering it is an opera singer. So without two tides, I think they're kind of banking on the first kite being a good kite. So hopefully we can see psychologists perform well. But honestly, Pitt might just go straight for the journalist since Opera is very easy to gain distance to close distance with.
Yeah, I think either way, I mean, a psychologist with broken windows isn't going to be able to do too much against Opera in that area. But if he goes for a journalist, they don't have any tides, and not having any tides against an Opera is almost a death sentence. I think either way, Pitt's going to be in a really good position. So if YYN can't get like a long kite out of this first chase, they're going to be in trouble here.
For sure. Plus, also, since with pit stopper spawn, it locks hotel, so that's forcing Embomber to maybe rotate towards um, the upper side of hotel, if that makes sense. I believe, like, towards the Dungeon Archway direction, considering Prospector spawn towards the bottom of the Embomber. So, I don't think they would really want to go in the same direction for ciphers.
Yeah, managing your ciphers is really important. So if they mess up their rotation, that could cost them a lot of time. And it does look like Pitt is going to be heading towards the psychologist here. Not going to be going for the journalist, unfortunately, but again, Opera's so fast, this might already be a hit on the psychologist. Oh, messes up his
Wow!
job.
Psychologist does really good with those pallet drops.
Yeah,
It
really
seems that
unfortunate there.
there's going to be a hit here.
Hmm. That was still a very fast hit.
I believe psychologists might just try to contain the opera singer in this area almost.
Wow,
Oh
not
wow.
good patience not going for that vault. Would have been bad if she got terror shocked.
Yeah, I don't really think she can even transition far away, even enough for her pallet speed boost to be up again.
Hmm. Yeah, now her stress is about to run out here. Pitt is going to be a bit patient here.
Oh, great vaults from the psychologist. Oh,
It's going to be a
and warp
word
had to get utilized. Oh
and
wow.
gets the swing. Wow,
That
really good.
was very good on the psychologist's part.
Yeah, she timed that vault really well. I did she pick up a speed boost from that vault too?
I believe that her let me look, hang on. I believe that her horsefly effect was her knee-jerk reflex, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, just the broken windows boost. She timed it very well with the stress. Pitt didn't want to hit her
Oh,
while she had stress, so.
sorry, I meant her muscle memory was up. So with muscle memory, the survivor can vault a window or pallet like 25, I think, percent faster.
Hmm.
Mhm. I think with this hit, her goal right now is just to go away from all the ciphers.
Yeah, we also see, unfortunately, that the Prospector Magnet was missed, so we're not going to see any Prospector support here. And I don't
Mhm.
think we're going to see harassment on the pickup either. So
Yeah,
this is already, however, their cipher progress is really good. They do have 3 ciphers done, so if they can manage to support this second kite from Psychologist, this can still be a draw.
yeah. I think they're managing their ciphers extremely well. Once Prospector rescues, it's kind of up to him to keep the psychologist alive with body blocks and magnets.
Hmm.
Hopefully, the psychologist can utilize getting to hotel with his support.
Yeah, if...
Oh,
Oh my
oh.
god, that's almost a recovery cancel. Unfortunately, he can't keep
That
her alive, though.
Yeah, I would say that was kind of a messy rescue. I think if anything, to prevent farming the psychologist, he should have prioritized taking a hit prior to the rescue. I can kind of see what he was trying to do though with that stun or the attempt to stun, but yeah, I think
Yeah,
definitely mistake on the prospecting's part. But we can see that he's already immediately starting the hotel cipher. It seems that because Embomber just popped his cipher, Pit Stoppers is already going towards the Embomber area, so we may see he's going to get stuffed. Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, he can't finish this rescue. And now,
Yeah.
the cipher isn't done, so...
Actually, if he spawns his coffin right now, he can rescue with the tide. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's a really good point here.
Oh,
He's gonna let himself get shared first, I guess.
I
However,
think
Prospector isn't decoding right now.
if Prospector is still decode. Oh, he's not decoding. He's going for the rescue.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what Pit Stoppers did basically was once he hit the embomber, he instantly picked up I think the embomber maybe was kind of delayed in using his coffin, but once he instantly picked up, the embalmer can't use the coffin anymore. So when he gets dropped, he still can't use the coffin. So
Yeah,
that's why
definitely.
you had to go rescue. So good rescue on the prospector's part. I think as it is, prospector may just have to kind of um pressure the two-story cipher, especially since journalist is dead on chair, and actually he has a lot of time to do that.
Yeah, however, journalists did kind of run into the opera, but the cipher is almost primed here.
The cipher
Um,
is primed with Embomber almost camping the gate.
yeah, and the cipher is going to be popped here, and she does have borrowed time. It looks like this is looking like a pretty strong draw position here. Unfortunately, Pitt
Yeah.
does have trait here, but he's going to have to leave his chase here, and I don't think
Oh,
he hasn't been shared yet, and he
yeah.
still has traffic too.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it might just be a tie unless Pitt can switch to trump card, but I don't think he has trump card.
Wow,
Wait,
really
is
interesting here. He actually sets
uh,
up his warp early, and he's gonna go for the warp here. Does he make this in time? Yeah, they can't finish the gate in time.
mhm. Yeah, I think journalist is going for that backdoor heel. See, this is why Prospector isn't super good against Opera, just because her dash can really easily not give him that much distance to activate like a longer stun.
Yeah, but a missed dash from Pitt means that this prospector is gonna get to and another missed dash as well. And Pitt's gonna have to take this magnet, which
I
means this
think
prospector actually
honestly,
kind of kites here.
this is
This
a
might be,
tie. This should be a
yeah,
tie.
with the kite from the prospector, they
Oh
actually
wow,
draw
a
this
nice
ball.
juke.
Wow.
YYN did very well with the ciphers and with the end game. I think they played it out really well. I believe like Pitt almost had the potential to 4K, but I think he kind of got blindsided by the journalist when Prospector was on the last cipher.
I'm
Good job on
surprised that
YYN.
Yeah, I'm surprised he let them make that rescue for free. Unfortunately, he overextended going for the cipher, and he just completely misread the situation. And they were able to
Hmm.
make that rescue for free, and he lost all of his momentum because of that play.
Hmm, for sure. I
Yeah,
think
really.
once he saw Hotel not shaking anymore, he definitely should have gone back to the chair. I think him going towards the journalist even was just a big loss on his part.
Yeah, if he camped that journalist out because they were Prospector got off the cipher really early, and I think Pitt could have noticed that.
Hmm.
But I guess either he did or he just didn't really care. I'm not sure what happened.
Maybe
Also, if
he
he,
expected the journalist to have died faster, but regardless, I feel like he should have just camped for now, considering he was already basically camping the embalmer and the journalist all in the same vicinity. I wonder
Mhm.
if he maybe didn't expect the embalmer to not have borrowed time. I'm not sure if he did or didn't, but regardless, I feel like he should have just stayed near the journalist's first chair.
Yeah, it would have helped a lot, especially since she ended up getting rescued after half. If he was able to read down her again before the cipher was primed, he would have had a pretty easy win lined up.
Mhm.
And there's also the fact that I think if he didn't mess up his dashes in the end game, I think he could have downed Prospector like way sooner. And I think
Mhm.
that would have helped out a lot.
Honestly, I feel like had he even down Prospector sooner, I think it could have still been a tie since no matter what, it was going to be him kind of bring the prospector bringing Pitt away from the warp to almost go towards the gate, towards the hotel gate, and then he would have to go back towards the warp, and the other gate's already 40-50%, and gates open very quickly. So I don't really even know if he could have still gotten a win with the prospector down faster.
It would have been close. I think if he downed Prospector at that breakable window area, he would have had a chance. But that was like 20 seconds before he did down
Mm,
him.
I really don't
But yeah,
think
it would
he
have been
did.
really close. Unfortunately, it
Yeah.
was mostly the failed camp that really took away all his momentum
Mhm.
there. Really well played from the survivors. But looking at these bands here, really interesting. We see a seer and an antiquarian picked first.
Oh wow. I imagine that Antiquarian may go towards Wizard Aqua. I know that they were previously S Badge Antiquarian.
Hmm. Yeah, these are interesting bands from the Hunter though. We're gonna have a Priestess Merc band, and then an Embalmer as well. Definitely doesn't want to draw going for a win with the Embalmer band.
Mhm.
However, his Wax Artist is banned though, so we'll have to see what else this Hunter actually plays. Probably realistics to see an Opera here, or maybe an Ivy, depending on what they play.
I think the global bands from Omni was Coordinator and what other survivor was global band?
It was Chord and Acrobat.
Okay. Yeah, I think not having Acrobat, I feel like he's a very strong kiter, especially solo kiting. But he
Yeah.
also is a very like he's a character that can be on global band without too much regret.
Hmm. Yeah, they do still have strong kiters here.
Hmm.
I mean, they've got seer and psychologists. Chasing psych is not going to be easy, for most hunters here.
Yeah, I
Seer is
think
definitely going
the
to be the
most
easy
mhm.
chase.
Yeah, the most optimal chase would be the seer. But even then, if seer is able to maybe kite towards the antiquarian or the wildling, they can kind of prevent the blink or the down for a little bit as well, unless they just want to solo kite and prioritize the ciphers.
Yeah, I think it'd be smart to have maybe a little bit of antiquarian support with the first kite, as long as seer doesn't take a first hit really fast. I think the antiquarian support can be really strong here. Like with some support, they can most likely guarantee a three cipher
Oh,
kite.
we're
Yeah.
seeing an opera utilization. I don't know why, but for some reason I was almost expecting a breaking wheel, but I don't know. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
opera makes sense.
we see Wheel a lot on Chinatown, and Wheel also loves psychologists and doesn't
Hmm.
really mind Seer either if you're not chasing him. So and handles Wildling well as well. So Wheel does have some upsides, but is also very weak to Flywheel, and they're gonna have probably a couple Flywheels here. So Wheel can be difficult if you don't play him like really perfect.
Yeah, I would definitely say this team comp is pretty strong against Ivy. It's not Ivy, Opera. It's a heavy hitter comp, while also a good kiter kind of sense of a comp. So yeah.
Yeah, and I really like the persona builds that we have here. Seer is going to be on that broken windows and flywheel build, which is really
Mhm,
strong because Opera's going to have a hard time chasing Wildling, chasing Psychologist, and Antiquarian
mhm.
with that owl in play. So
Yeah.
they, give Seer a suicide build and put him in Hotel, which means he's not going to get chased, and they can
Mhm.
rely on pretty much anyone else for a long kite.
For sure. I think also the utilization of Wildling is quite good considering his ability is rechargeable, so he won't be running out of elbow pads or anything of the sort, especially if the game may go on longer than anticipated.
Yeah, that's the thing about Wildling. We do sometimes see Opera chase Wildling if they feel really confident. But the thing is, every time you rescue or every time you rescue a Wildling, if you don't farm him, he's just gonna get back on his board and it's gonna be a really long rebound. So, chasing him is hard, dealing with his harassment is difficult. We've
Mhm.
seen a bit of a resurgence with Wildling, and I think for good reason. He's a really strong character.
Yeah, especially on larger maps like Chinatown, Moonlit Lakeside, you might want actually a wildling instead of a mercenary or even gravekeeper and first officer, since wildling can really get cover that distance faster, and still consistently cover that distance without relying on usable abilities.
Yeah, that's true for sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
Only really Merc is also good at covering distance like that, but you really want to save your elbow pads when you're playing against an Opera because Opera can chase Merc. Um, Definitely Merc is much easier to chase than Opera. We are going to be
Going
loading into
for
this map here. Really nice controls.
Yeah, really good controls on Chupor's part. Oh, see,
They
this is
might
the
be,
issue. Actually, I feel like the Wildling could have honestly just kept looping that tree, and the opera singer would have had trouble getting him.
yeah, we're gonna see if Opera's actually able to get a hit here. Might be able to. Really nice dashes, wow. And that is gonna be the hit. That was a precise dash. Unfortunately, doesn't quite get the dash and gets pallet stunned. Well played from the Wildling there.
I think a major part that maybe Chupor messed up on was since he hit the board twice, he had his cloak, and when he kind of dashed into the pallet, he didn't utilize his cloak, which caused him to get that pallet stun.
Yeah, that's a good point. He put his dash on
Oh, no
cooldown.
owl.
Wildling, yeah, just goes down.
Yeah, I think maybe the wildling had maybe there was a miscommunication because I see that the seer was spectating the wildling, but he could not get that owl.
I think maybe they want to save the owl for a rebound, so you give him an owl after he gets rescued, and then he gets on his boar, and that guarantees a rebound. That might be what they're going for, but they actually are going for a pretty early rescue here with this psychologist.
That makes sense. Hopefully he can get that owl soon for the boar. Oh no.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
there was another miscommunication, but yeah, I think the no tide can really hurt sometimes when there's only one tide against an opera and then the opera just chases the rescuer. This
yeah,
is why, like,
I
sorry,
think
keep going.
I
Oh my
think
bad.
that was the perfect opportunity for an owl. I think if
Mhm.
they owled there, they could have gotten a bit of a rebound from Wildling. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, now this is a bit of a difficult position for them.
Oh wow, and I feel like maybe, yeah, I think honestly, with the first rescue, they managed to. Oh, we see the antiquarian with the support, but it was only one stick, so I don't really know how much distance Wildling can really get, especially when he's already on his boar.
Yeah, and this is going to be a full presence opera, so she's going to be catching
Oh,
up
it seems
really
like
quickly.
Auntie's going to stay nearby.
Yeah, she's going to stick around here. I mean, Wildling can still take another hit, and she is camping this pallet. No
Oh,
hit on Anti either, so she can... Oh, and he messes up his dash there. Unfortunately, yeah, these missed dashes are costing him a lot of distance.
oh wow, Auntie's doing some really. Oh, that's
Oh,
amazing support on Wizard Aqua's part.
I'm surprised he had the balls to walk through that pallet. I mean, that could have worked, but unfortunately it didn't. And another missed dash. Did Anti stun him there?
I don't think the Auntie did stun him, but
Yeah,
I
but this
think honestly, if the Auntie can keep him alive, and maybe even you. Oh, again with the walking through the pallet.
this opera really loves walking through pallets. Unfortunately, they've gotten
And
pallet
he's
stun.
back on his
Yeah,
board, and
and a
the
missed
owl
dash
has never
too.
even gotten utilized. I think Omni's doing a very good job of keeping this wildling alive.
I mean, yeah, this opera or this anti-support is just so strong here. We've really seen how good an antiquarian is here, and she just keeps buying a little bit of time. I mean, Wildling's back on his board. Omni can now push for a win here.
Yeah. See, this is what I was talking about before prior to the match was since Wildling has a rechargeable ability, it's very easy for them to kind of just delay until the Wildling can has his boar back.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna... Wow, he
Great
missed that
ball.
out.
I
And
think
he's
now
really gonna
because
try to...
the Cypher is primed, they're kind of trying to position themselves for a better endgame. I'm really impressed with the Wildlings part, but yeah, this kind of seems we kind of are in a position where like Chopor has to maybe switch targets to even kind of hope for that 2K.
Yeah, is going to go for the teleport here. Unfortunately, runs into an antiquarian who has stick left and another pallet stun.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think Wizard Aqua has like Palette Master or something.
yeah, I'll bet. Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, even with how strong the controls are, I feel that the pallet stuns and the missed dashes have
Mhm.
just really hurt this
I
Opera face.
I feel like Chopper may have gotten a little bit desperate even when he really wanted these downs, just because he would sometimes mess up his or kind of just dash into the open even while wilding was still on his boar. So I think that kind of hurt him a lot in his chase, which delayed him from like really putting that much pressure on the survivors. But maybe he can get this tie.
Yeah,
Oh
unfortunately,
no!
does Seer
Wait,
have dungeon? Oh, but Seer has an owl.
there's no dungeon there, unfortunately.
Wait, did Seer have an owl?
Seer has never utilized his owl this entire match.
Wait, why
I
did Seer leave? Couldn't Seer have just used his owl to get through the gate? Seer could have
yes,
gone for a body block with owl there.
yeah, he could have, but he didn't. I don't understand why he did that. Um, honestly, Chopor could have actually gotten a 3K, but he cheers really far away from the gate. I don't know why. Oh,
I guess,
actually, probably because of owl, but
yeah.
yeah, the Seer just never used his owl that entire match. It's really unique.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really shocked by everything about that match. I mean, if Seer owled after the first rescue, then that could have been a pretty long rebound there, and that would have helped their pace a lot. It really looked like Opera was in a strong position until that Antiquarian came in, and that anti-support was really, really strong.
Yeah, I would
At
honestly
the very
argue
end.
that without that owl, they kind of threw their win. But Chopor still played it really well. I think he could have even killed the psychologist within the gate opening it, so maybe that is why the seer didn't anticipate using the owl.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I also
Yeah, he
think
was
if,
very close for killing the psychologist. I think
yeah,
he just messed up his dash at the very end, which caused him to miss his swing on the psychologist. But yeah, I'm just surprised that the owl was never utilized. I saw him spectate quite a few times throughout the match, but it just didn't get utilized.
if Sierra owled Wildling while he was getting chased in endgame, that owl would have bought Wildling more time, and I think that would have confirmed the three escape too. I think if they
I
use owl at like any point in that match, I think they get a three escape,
Yeah,
to be
I
honest.
think that the owl was a really big missed opportunity for Team Omni, but really good on Chuper's part for managing to get that tie even in that heavy harassment position he was in.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, really, really strong with those dashes. We saw some really good controls from Chokor. It was unfortunate. I think at some points they were getting a bit flustered. We did see some unfortunate missed dashes, some really awkward dashes happening. And I think the missed dashes are really what let Omni get back into the game. And then the anti-support is kind of what sealed the deal.
Yeah, I
I mean,
feel
Wilding getting two
like
boards on his
yeah,
rebound.
I feel like if anything, Chopor's controls were like really good. It's just I could kind of see maybe his like newness to opera with when he doesn't like utilize his cloak when maybe he needed to. I do think a really good time to maybe switch targets is on Wildling's first rescue, just going for the psych, because with that it forces the Wildling to kind of maybe seek a heal, and then Psych's already forced to kind of give that hit. And I imagine Psych wouldn't really be able to kite super long in that kind of position. But yeah, I think I think the tie was just kind of deserved on both parts very much. So
Yeah. The only issue is if he switches off Wildling, then they get to use Tide. And, that's like the whole benefit of chasing Wildling is you
yeah,
get rid of their Tide.
I think
Um,
the reason why that I'm saying if he switched off the wilding, it would also force the wilding to like manually seek a heal, which delays decoding as well. So, for example, like if you after the first rescue, when the psychologist saved, once the psychologist got rescued him, if he just went for a psychologist, it kind of almost forces them to go like different areas. So psychologist going one way, Wildling's going another way, and then kind of just delay the whole heal. And if he wants to play like super aggressive, he could switch to psychologist, and then when he sees a cipher is not shaking, he could probably just dash to that cipher and be fast enough to get the wildling again.
Yeah, that's
Mhm,
definitely true. I think he did have an opportunity there. But
mhm.
even with staying on the Wildling wasn't able to rebound, unfortunately. I think if unfortunately if he was just able to farm that Wildling on the second chair, the Opera definitely could have won that match.
Yeah, I think no utilization of the owl probably helped made him stay more committed towards the wildling. But yeah, I think the whole game was very good. Yeah.
Yeah, just really, really unusual. I mean, you expect to see the owl come out, and you didn't really get to see any of that action. No owl that match. Just unusual, especially since Wildling could have done a really long rebound with owl. And in the end game, that was such a weird end game. I really don't know what to make of that end game. We
Yeah.
should be getting into the third round though, and it looks like we are gonna be on Lakeside here, and I think Pitt is hunting first again. So everything's tied up. So oh, it is. Oh, I saw him in the Survivor slot, and I was like, oh, YYN's running. That's my bad.
Wizard Encore is going to be Omni's hunter for this round.
Dang, they got 100% win rate. I think they got it locked up. For real, for
They're
real.
Manti 5-2, and so it's Manti against Griffin, so maybe it's a little bit of a fair matchup, but let's see it, guys. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
we'll have to see. Oh man,
Yeah.
this
I
matchup
think,
is totally tied though.
mhm.
It's gonna be really
Yep.
interesting to see what kind of strats they go for Lakeside.
Hmm. Yeah, actually, I was wondering, so did YYN pick Lakeside?
Oh, let me check.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking,
they did.
and they did pick Lakeside. So I'm kind of curious almost what hunter they will utilize. I could see them using a gamekeeper, or even maybe Omni would want to ban Chopper's Wax and Opera Singer. But yeah, I'm honestly not sure what other hunters Chopper has in his arsenal.
Yeah, I think usually on Lakeside you see Gamekeeper or Night Watch, or maybe Ivy. This is
Oh,
like considered Opera's like really, really rough for Opera. You don't want to play
yeah.
Opera on Lakeside.
Yeah,
But Ivy's pretty good.
honestly though, I feel like Ivy isn't the best pick either for this map, considering her recent nerf where her ghost or her I'm not quite sure the official name of it, but her spirit is the movement speed got nerfed, so now it's a lot harder for her to kind of traverse the map. So I would imagine Ivy pick would be maybe for like a very high skilled Ivy. I'm not really sure if Chopper even knows how to play Ivy, but we will see.
Yeah, we haven't seen much tournament gameplay of Ivy post nerf. And they hit her pretty hard, bro. So I'm not
I'm
sure how
actually
the Ivies are gonna be doing.
Yeah, I'm
But
actually
yeah.
looking in YYN's country's character knowledge point, and it seems that he plays Wax, Opera, and Night Watch, so we might be expecting a Night Watch.
I think Nightwatch is really good here. He's more of a draw hunter, for pretty much since he's been in the game, but on Lakeside, he's pretty good. He's one of the few hunters who can handle all like the rotations.
Mhm.
And if you have to deal with Toy Merchant, Nightwatch doesn't like he has options against distance characters, so I
For
think
sure. I think
Nightwatch should
if
work here.
anything, with the distance characters, he can honestly just bring warp to counter them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so they're banning opera singer and his opera and his wax artist. So I think maybe we should be expecting a night watch.
Maybe like gamekeeper. Maybe I mean if they go toy merchant, he could go geisha. But I think Night Watch is really consistent. Just you can pick Night Watch and expect a draw and maybe a win if you snowball from a strong early game.
Oh
I
wow, we're
think.
seeing a forward pick.
Oh,
Oh, it hasn't been locked in quite yet, but I would be quite. Oh, it's locked in now. I'm honestly very excited to see a forward in tourney gameplay. I feel like
yeah,
since the advent of Opera and Ivy, we don't really see as much forward considering how countered he gets. But with the round three, we would probably see more forwards.
yeah. I mean, he really did kind of fall off. I think really just in general, other harassers are more efficient than forward, unfortunately. But late round, we can definitely see some forward support come in as well. And they also have a psychologist and an aeroplanist. Those are pretty strong, self-sufficient kiters, and they can have Psych heal up forward from anywhere on the map if he does get injured harassing. So I think this forward is set up to succeed here, hopefully.
What do you know? Aeroplane is decoding buff. I think it's 10% or I'm not quite sure. Would you know?
No, I don't know specifically what it is. Does he have a decoding debuff?
No, 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 not debuff, but he has a decoding buff, I believe.
Arrow decodes fast?
I am not sure. Maybe I'm just
Oh,
not
why
sure.
would they make him decode fast?
Um, oh yeah, I think it might be 3% considering he is a strong kiter. But yeah, I think it just has something to do with like his character lore. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but yeah, he decodes a little bit faster.
Oh, it's
And
super
then
fast.
we see mechanic psychologist being utilized. So Meg, honestly, is while she has greatly fallen from the meta, I heard she was getting a buff soon, so I'm kind of excited about that. But with the current mechanic, I think she kind of is similar to Embalmer, but a little bit worse, I would say. But she can kind of secure maybe one escape at the very least.
Yeah, unfortunately, with mechanic, it's just really risky to pick such a weak character in terms of kiting. It's the meta is really focused on characters that can kite. As far as decoders go, it's mostly like composer and prisoner if you ever see a decoder, and they actually do have kiting abilities. Mechanic, however, is a bit of a liability. However, even
I
if she dies fast, she does have her bot, so.
Yeah, I think mechanic probably was utilized considering it's lakeside. So even if she were to just drop her bot and then just even if she does like a poor kite, it kind of almost forces the hunter to either stay near the mechanic with her bot or just not really like fully leave. And he can't really pressure other ciphers because this map is so large.
Yeah, the ciphers can be really spread out on this map, and if you don't pressure big boat early game, or rather, if they have big boat late game, it's really difficult to pressure that cipher because it's so far away. So
Yeah,
for us like Night Watch, it can be hard.
Yeah, that's why sometimes when hunters spawn, let's say cornfield or maybe where the mech is spawning and lock big boat cipher, it can kind of sometimes be difficult almost for the hunter endgame. I think with the way the Night Watch spawned towards almost 11, he's trying to lock shore at that point. So I
hmm
think big boat will probably be one of the ciphers getting done. Same with middle. I imagine aeroplanist and mech should be rotating pretty early. I think if anything, one of them should be rotating towards Shaq.
Yeah, it looks like Omni really want this mechanic to get chased. She doesn't have borrowed time here, and they're putting her at a pretty convenient spot for Night Watch to potentially go for her. But I think that works out since she decodes slow anyway. And with a suicide build, she should be able to hopefully kite at least a little bit here.
Yeah, we see that Airplane is actually the only one with Tide, and Forward is bringing a Flywheel Borrowed Time persona. So I'm kind of expecting Forward to maybe do some long stunts for the mechanic. I believe like how I imagine it is she'll probably leave her bot in the start of the game and kite a little bit, and then maybe the forward can just do like a one half of a football stun, and then she can just be gone from her bot, so it's free decoding, which is honestly a very strong strategy.
Yeah, if you work in some forward support early game, I think against a Night Watch it can definitely work out if you catch them off guard. And that little bit of support can really help mechanic transition potentially if she is trying to transition and forwards in the area. So that might work out really well for them.
Especially with her broken windows.
Yeah, true. However,
Hmm.
this Night Watch is going to be heading towards small boat. It
We
looks like they do
see,
want to go for the mechanic.
yeah, we see aeroplane is kind of rotating out and crouching. Oh, I think he saw the aeroplane. Oh, no, he did not. He's going for the forward right now, and forward's rotating towards Big Rock, and that's pretty much far away from almost like all of the survivors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a bit surprised they're actually going for the forward here. However, Nightwatch can chase forward since wow, that was a really tight vault there, but he makes it. And
yeah.
is using his football really effectively actually.
Wow, actually,
Yeah.
because, oh wait.
Uses his entire football to make that rotation there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think not giving, oh, the pallet jump was a little early almost, but it's still a good play on the forwards part. Yeah, I think because there is a mechanic on the team, he really wants to just he would rather use all his football and kind of stay safe so that the decoding debuff isn't immediately activated. Oh wow, I think Chopor was probably expecting the vault, which is why he just blinked there.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we were really seeing him just have trouble with getting forward around those pallets. And we see
Yeah,
again, since forward vaults so fast, he can make these super aggressive vaults, and Nightwatch is actually having a lot of trouble with that.
yeah. I think
Um,
the issue with forward is, oh, I think forward should be able to last at least maybe not this win, just because. Oh, he has flywheel.
yeah, let's
I
see
think
Flappy.
regardless of the flywheel, he might be dead. Yeah, but it was a good like 5 or 6 seconds saved with that flywheel, so I think that was still very much worth it.
Yeah, I mean, the important part is that you let those two ciphers get finished. And now Mechanic has two more ciphers with
Yeah,
herself and her bot, and then Psychologist is going to be able to decode two while Aeroplanist goes in. I
yeah,
think that was really good. It
yeah.
probably was much better if he chased Aeroplanist
Oh
instead.
wow. I think the major issue though is that with mechanic, her decoding is so slow that her cipher might not even be done by the time forward gets cheered again.
Yeah, her cipher is moving really slowly. However, they do have only two ciphers left.
Yeah.
Um, Without support, though, it's going to be difficult to make this forward live. He doesn't have any items here.
Yeah, and Aeroplanist will be going for that rescue again because the psychologist is whistling him. But Mechanic did bring her bot over to the cipher, but I don't really know how worth it that really is, considering her bot is only like less than a quarter left. But I feel like the ciphers should be relatively on the same pace. I know that when Mechanic is on her bot is decoding faster than the average survivor. Okay.
Well, she
Wow,
also
Aeroplanes is
her
getting a
bot
free
moving.
rescue.
Yeah, and they need to pull off a body block here. Only need to buy maybe 3 or 4 more seconds
Honestly, I
until
don't
the
even
fight is
think they
done.
need to body block. The Cypher's primed.
Yeah, it's already finished, and Mechanic's gonna have her bot on the gate, so she doesn't even have to be on the gate in case
No,
Nightwatch goes for
her
the
button is
teleport.
not on the gate.
Yeah, and this
Oh,
is gonna be
the
the
pop
pop
was a
here.
little bit late, I'm not gonna lie.
Our
The
forward is
mechanic?
still living here, and he's
Mhm.
got all these pallets to work with as well. It's gonna be a
Oh,
blink.
he uses
It's gonna
the
steal their
blade.
3 escape.
Yeah, yeah, this is the 3 escape. Good job on Omni's part. I feel like Cloud did a very good job in containing the hunter in the area that he did, because it was away from all of the ciphers, basically.
Yeah, I mean the
Pudding, honestly.
The kite was just really, really good from Cloud.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I think we saw that Nightwatch struggles a lot with forward, even without football. Forward just goes for those aggressive vaults, and he vaults so fast you can't catch him. I think maybe if he was more willing to break some of those pallets, he might have been able to get a hit earlier, but really great kite from the forward there.
Yeah, I honestly think that maybe Chopper wasn't expecting Forward, aka Cloud, to bring Flywheel, considering. But we see that most of these teams so far have only brought one Tide, so I think it kind of matches the pattern and what they've already been doing.
Yeah, like multiple Tide comps are kind of risky, and that's kind of you usually pair that with like suicide builds, so you'll go Tide and Broken or
Mhm.
something. And I think these
Yeah,
teams don't really think it's worth it for
you
the extra risk that comes
know,
without running borrowed time.
yeah,
But still,
I would actually argue that multiple tides would help make a game, while it may be harder to win, I would argue that it would be easier to tie.
mhm.
Mhm. But I
Yeah,
think Omni definitely wanted maybe to go for an aggressive team comp with the mechanic and the forward. So I do think that they definitely got what they wanted with this Theory Escape. So good job to Omni survivors.
yeah, and I really have to commend Cloud for that forward kite. That forward kite went crazy. I really think that if Nightwatch chased the aeroplanist first, that might have been easier. Because that does get rid of their tide, which helps out a lot. And I think maybe Aeroplanist is just a little bit easier to chase because he's not vaulting fast. And you can really save up all your stacks for after he uses his jetpacks.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
honestly,
yeah.
I think the early rotation, I feel like Chopra may have not seen the footprints, though we as commentators and viewers could have seen that. But yeah, I think him not seeing the footprints from the aeroplanist was kind of major, considering aeroplanist was the only tide. So maybe if he chased the arrow, he could have gotten a tie or even more than a tie. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, Aeroplanist still is going to be difficult to chase, but I don't think it's going to go worse than when, what happened chasing the forward, unfortunately. And you can never go wrong chasing their tide. Get rid of their tide, and now they're going to have a much harder time buying time after the first chase.
yeah.
And now the survivors for YYN have to get a 3 escape to bring this to overtime.
Yep, definitely. But I would also argue that Airplanes actually gets more countered than anything by Nightwatch to an extent, considering with Aeroplanist when he uses his jetpack without using the air extension one, he kind of has to do it in not exactly a straight line, but almost in the open so that no obstacles interrupt his dashes. And I think because of that, Nightwatch chasing him may have honestly been a much better chase.
Yeah, I agree. I think Nightwatch really matches up nicely with Aeroplanist. I think that would have helped out a lot, actually, if they had been able to find the Aeroplanist. It's just unfortunate that they ended up chasing the forward and
Mhm.
that forward did such a good kite. But it
Yeah.
happens.
Plus,
Um,
another thing is because mechanics spawn near small boat, it would kind of almost force her to move her bot towards the other side of the map. So let's say Crab Shack instead of small boat. So yeah, I think honestly, not chasing the aeroplanist was kind of a little mistake on the YYN's hunting part.
mhm. Interesting bans here, though. Hit's gonna ban Cord and Antiquarian, getting rid of their kind of harassers slash stunners. And then the
Yeah.
survivors are gonna ban Wax and Opera, not banning the Dream Witch.
Yeah, I believe that makes sense for the same reason I said why Dreamwatch probably wouldn't be utilized on Chinatown. It's just because the map is really large, so it's a lot harder for Dreamwatch to really expand her map pressure, especially without insolence. I would say so. Yeah, I think good on them for not banning Dreamwatch.
Yeah, for sure. Although Opera does still struggle on this map a lot. I wonder maybe if Pit went Opera, if they can if they can set up their support well and force Pit to chase it like small boat slash logs or at big boat, it's a little bit difficult for Opera. However, they're just gonna ban it, and they are gonna be locking in lawyer and psychologist here.
Mhm.
Really interesting,
I
going
think
for strong
probably
fighters.
yeah, I feel like Lakeside is honestly almost a peculiar pick considering I feel like Lakeside only gets picked even if it gets picked at all in first round to kind of help destroy like Offer and Ivy almost. But because it's picked third round, I'm kind of curious what we're going to be see what we're going to see utilized.
Yeah, I mean, Pitt could maybe go Ivy if he feels very confident, or he could go for a strong draw hunter like Gamekeeper or Nightwatch. I think pretty much everyone plays Nightwatch, and I think Pitt probably plays Gamekeeper too. He
Yeah, I
only
believe
needs to
Pitt
draft,
does
so.
play Gamekeeper, but yeah, I think Omni serves did really well kind of taking the pressure off of Pitt with that three escape. So now the pressure is really on YYN.
Mhm. Yeah, they actually do get that Priestess though. Priestess can be really good on this map. I'm actually a bit surprised Pitt actually let a Priestess through here. Maybe with that kind of support, even chasing a psychologist or a lawyer, Pitt might have some trouble getting a fast down.
Yeah, I honestly am not even sure what Pitt is going to play.
I mean, Anne
I
could
think
actually be really good here. Anne is good against
yeah.
Priestess.
I think honestly we might see an Anne pick because Anne's super reliable tie character and right now only what Omni only needs is a tie. So I think we might be seeing that Anne pick.
Yeah, Pitt doesn't have to go for an aggressive hunter like an Ivy or a Dream Witch. I think he can just go for a boring Thai character. And out of like the three really good ones, which are Anne, Gamekeeper, and Nightwatch, and I don't know, maybe Bonbon, but I don't know if Pit plays Bonbon very much nowadays. I think Anne is probably going to be the most consistent pick here.
Yeah, I also wouldn't really pick Bonbon for this team comp. I feel like this team comp is quite Bonbon there, if that makes sense. So yeah. Oh wow, wait, Pitt might be playing Soul Weaver.
Yo, Spider is crazy. Is Spider
I'm
even
honestly
like that?
super excited for a Spider Pack. I think I do think though that Spider does have trouble at times chasing small boat or log walls or slash 11. So and even Shaq. So if we are actually going to be seeing a spider, I'm kind of already predicting confined space on the spider's build. Oh, and he's picking spider. You know, just as Anne is a strong Thai character. Spider is honestly probably an even well not better than Anne obviously, but she is a very strong Thai character as well. We see that a lot in China.
Yeah, the thing with Spider is she's so map dependent. You really only see her on Chinatown and like maybe Church, but even that's a bit of a stretch. So to
Yeah.
pick her on an unusual map here, it's I mean it shows a lot of confidence. Like Pitt clearly has a ton of confidence
Yeah.
with his,
Mhm.
familiarity with Spider if he's gonna pick her here over
Yeah,
more like
I
conventional hunters.
Mhm. Yeah, I think Pitt will probably be chasing the priestess first because right now priestess is I wouldn't say the weakest target, but she and on Big Boat Spider is very good. So I think priestess might be able to loop a few times with the portals, but honestly, I feel like the Spider might be able to get that fast down on priestess. So I think it's just really up to priestess now to provide a long kite for her teammates. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it is probably going to be difficult for her since Big Boat is the most optimal place for a spider to chase on this map.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like since they have to push for an aggressive win here, their best chance is gonna be using like long portal support. And so if Pitt chases the Priestess first, he's actually gonna be getting rid of that support really early. And without Priestess, with Lawyer and Psych, they don't have any support. So it's pretty much all on Priestess to just raw kite without any support and kite really long. And Pitt clearly feels confident that he'll be able to down her fast if it's just her and zero support. So gonna be
Yeah,
interesting to see how this goes.
Honestly, I think with this spawn, they don't. None of the survivors really need to rotate at all. So I think it's really good for the hunter to chase priestess. But I think, is she trying to hide? No, she's not trying to hide. Yeah, I think she's already going to be giving a hit. See, this is
Yeah.
seen by the issue with Big Bow. It's, I think, honestly, priestess. Oh,
Oh,
she portaled into spider, but the spider hasn't broken that portal, so I think she might just be able to get back in. But oh,
yeah.
okay, that was a good portal on the priestess's part. But
It
yeah,
doesn't go a lot of distance though. She just goes down.
I think I think she should have just early rotated and committed kind of to the rotate. I think she was kind of contemplating between hiding and just taking the kite, and then she kind of just lost distance because of that. Um, Yeah, I this is what I kind of meant prior to the game starting. When I see, oh, I think you have a bit of an echo.
I think you're okay.
No, I think you have a bit of an echo.
Oh, do I?
Oh, he got terror shocked. Oh my god.
Oh
Okay.
man. Yeah. Do I
Wow.
still have an echo?
No, you're fine. You're fine. But oh my
Okay.
god, it seems like Corrupted Bear got terror shocked on the princess's chair. So I think this terror shock kind of cemented maybe a 4K. It's honestly really hard for them to come back from this and even manage a three snipe. Oh, he tried to snipe, but
Oh.
missed that. I don't. Oh,
Oh. Oh, it's a
okay.
lawyer. I was about to.
Why doesn't he just rescue? Oh my,
Yeah, you can't.
bro. Sorry, I'm so surprised. I feel like maybe Chopper forgot he was playing lawyer because he just doesn't get terror shock. So he kind of tried to dodge the web spit instead of just going for the chair. But yeah, I feel like Chopper did a really big mistake there not rescuing the priestess.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it's a pretty difficult situation with how slow
Mm-hmm.
their Cypher Rush is, but now this really is unsalvageable for them. Lawyer's on the chair and FO is injured, and I'm
Yeah,
psychologists can't go for the heal with stress, but
you
even
know,
so, their Cypher Rush is too slow. I think
yeah, I'm a little surprised that they didn't go for a heal after the psychologist saved the first officer because Lawyer and Priestess were kind of taking the attention off of Pitt during that time.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just don't know if there's a lot they can do here. It doesn't even look like they're going to be going for
Yeah.
this rescue. FO's decoding in a corner, unfortunately, but
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, once Chopper dies on share, that's going to be a guaranteed draw, and that's going to actually be it for them since they need to get three out.
Yeah, good job on the psychologist for dropping these pallets early. It's forcing the spider to kind of just walk around them. I'm kind of surprised she didn't utilize her broken window speed boost yet, but now she is. I do think that Pit Stoppers might just be saving up his webs for like an instant down, honestly. Oh, he missed that web shot. I feel like going for that web shot there wasn't like the most optimal choice just because I don't think the web can really go through. Oh, great mind game on Pit Stopper's part.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He missed a couple web shots, which is unfortunate, but at this point he's just coasting here.
Yep.
Doesn't have a lot of webs here, but should be able to misses a
Oh,
third
missed that
in
one
a row.
too. Missed that
Yeah.
swing as well. But yeah, I think I don't know if you guys saw the way psychologist got hit, but what Pitt did was actually he angled his camera really briefly towards the crab shack direction and then swung immediately at the pallet. So that is honestly a very good mind game trick for anyone who wants to maybe try that out in their future ranked games. But yeah.
Really unfortunate miss on that web shot there. It got stuck on these crates or barrels or whatever they are. But he does get that one. Now she's slowed down and she is
Yeah, I
one
think
hit.
she's gonna die, but honestly, she did such a
Yeah,
good
wow,
hit
so really slow
that
vault. And
yeah,
she's
she
gonna
did
go
such
down
a good
here.
kite that first officer was able to pop all of those ciphers, but they still have one full cipher left to do, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, even with that kite that Psychologist did, it was a solid kite, but they're still missing an entire fifth cipher, and Pitt
Mhm.
still has his trait, and FO only has one watch left, so now he's just going to be going back and forth and slugging. It looks like YYN don't want to surrender quite yet, but at this point, again, there's very little they can do, although
Oh,
they might
First
actually
officer
convert
is
this
going for that
quickly.
heal. You know,
Yeah, really well played from FO. They're actually getting the
Pitt
heal off.
used his. Oh, he missed. Oh, I don't
No
think Pitt
watch
used
though.
his blink at all this match.
Yeah, has he really not blinked once? That's yeah. Pitt's been doing
Yeah,
a really great job of just using his webs here for the downs.
yeah. I think right now he's just trying to bring the first officer closer towards the psychologist. Maybe he doesn't know how much the ciphers are because he seems to be like usually when countries share, it's because a cipher is close than that they expect. But they psychologists or YYN doesn't have any fifth cipher, so I feel like the chair was kind of premature. Premature.
Well, I mean, he does only need the 3 kills, so I guess Pitt just wants to go to
Oh
bed. Doesn't really plan on necessarily
yeah.
pushing for a 4 kill here. But he
Yeah.
is going to be finding the psychologist, and he has traits, so it's going to be a 4 kill anyway.
Yeah, I think the main thing was just Priestess should probably have been more prepared to take that kite. Um, yeah, I think the down was just a little too quick for them to have really done much, and then first officer's terror shock was just very unfortunate. It was just a battle of luck, honestly. But great job on Pitstopper's part.
Yeah, it really just feels like they weren't prepared for the spider, which I can't blame them because spider is not a very common character to see. You don't see many hunters actually pick spider, so Pitt really went for that surprise pick and it definitely paid off there. Really, really great
Mm,
performance from Pitt there.
for sure. I definitely do think, again, with the big boat, I feel like Spider can really only chase on big boat, so you kind of want like the strongest kiter on big boat. But really good job on both teams' part. They kept it almost at par until the third round. So I'm really impressed with YYN's performance, considering Omni did go to, or at least Pit Stoppers did go to Koa. So great job on YYN's part. Really impressed, and great job to Omni too for pulling through with those escapes.
Yeah, definitely. Just great play from both sides. I mean, it was really even through the first 2 rounds with two 4 kills and then 2 draws in the first 2 rounds. Really good showings from both the hunters and the survivors from both teams. However, in the third round, Omni were able to pull ahead, so really big congrats to them and really great showing from YYN. I'm looking forward to seeing their future matchups in this tournament.
Yeah, great job, guys. So that's it. Good job to Omni for winning this round. They'll be passing on towards the next round.
Or they still have the group matches.
Oh, they got the group matches, so but they passed this one. So good job to Omni.
Yeah, going 1-0 is good. Going 1-0 is good. So
Mhm.
Omni really great showing in their first round.
Mhm.
And I think that is going to be it for tonight. We do have more matches tomorrow, so I think
Stay
it's
tuned for that.
yeah, like 3 matches tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So it's a lot of matches tomorrow. How many is it, Ozzy? Only two? Dang. Well, make sure to tune in for those 2 matches. It's still 2 matches that you should be watching because it's really good teams playing. It'll be really fun to watch.
For sure. I totally agree.
Definitely. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you, Happy Person 05. Did I get all that right? For
Yes.
casting me?
No, it's completely right.
Let's go. I can't believe I got that. Yeah,
Thank you,
that
PTM.
was a great match.
Okay, great job. Thank you guys for hearing me commentate. It's my first time, but thank you guys. Okay.